Well, President Trump floats the idea of consumption taxes online for online purchases, gasoline. Joining us now, Dan Mitchell with the Center for Freedom and Prosperity. All right, Dan, we're hearing about a bunch of taxes to make some of these programs work. How do you feel about it?
I think it's bad news, and I think it's an inevitable consequence of Trump getting co-opted by the swamp, signing that big spending deal that increased spending for both defense and non-defense spending. And now what's happening? Washington is looking for more ways to take money away from us. And what I don't understand is Trump's main accomplishment in 2017 was a tax cut. If he does a big gas tax increase, almost all the benefits for middle-class people are going to be wiped out.
Dan, is President Trump living with a reality in D.C. that he didn't create, that the establishment on both sides will not do any sort of deals unless it involves some form of spending? He wanted to help the military. There was only one way to perhaps get it done without another continuous shutdown or resolution or shutdown. I mean, is this just the reality, the political reality? The swamp is murky, and if he wants to get deals done, this is what he's going to have to do?
That's certainly the excuse that defenders of the administration used for that big spending deal. But I think Trump should have played hardball on a government shutdown. He should have said, I don't agree that the military needs a lot more money. I think we should be doing less intervention and less nation building overseas. Trump said that during the campaign, so why is he still doing this stuff? But set aside the military. If he wanted more money for the Pentagon, that doesn't mean he should have just rolled over and accepted more money for a lot of these programs that shouldn't exist in the first place in Washington. This is a very fundamental
Dan,
fight.
how does he get infrastructure done then without any sort of way of paying for it?
But that's another frustrating thing. We shouldn't have the federal government involved in infrastructure. There shouldn't be a federal gas tax. There shouldn't be a federal Department of Transportation. So much of that money gets siphoned off for everything from mass transit projects, which are basically pay off to government workers, to bike paths for the environmentalists. Get government out of it at the central government level. That's what our founding fathers had in mind.
Yeah.
Trump is becoming the swamp creature.
Dan, I got to tell you, though, in our most recent Fox poll, the thing that struck me more than anything else is how many people in America want more government intervention. Even Republicans are 50% now, which, I know it's not traditional, it's not the orthodoxy, but it feels like that's the way we're being swayed. I do want to ask you about Silicon Valley billionaire Peter Thiel, because he's leaving Silicon Valley all because of politics. He can no longer take it. What's your reaction?
It's kind of funny because Silicon Valley, especially you look at the big companies like Facebook and Google and whatnot, they are some of the most crafty international companies in terms of protecting their profits from taxation. And so I sometimes wonder, do they act left-wing to sort of just buy off the Democrats so that they don't get attacked for their tax planning and tax avoidance behavior? And by the way, I defend Facebook and Google for trying to keep the money with their shareholders, not with governments around the world.
But what about the political message here at home and the idea, and it gets to your point, they're not really inclusionary in practice, right? I mean, they may preach that, but it's one thing if you cannot have a conservative voice in Silicon Valley.
This is what's bizarre. They are some of the most greedy capitalist companies imaginable, and I don't object to that. But then they play this left-wing game, and there's this left-wing culture, and part of it, I think, really doesn't have anything to do with economics. I think it's the culture of Silicon Valley where, if you're conservative, then you're like these rubes and flyover country. And there's sort of this elitism where if you're very sort of hyper successful in Silicon Valley, it doesn't matter if you actually believe in small government and low taxes, you can't actually behave that way. And I think that's what Thiel is running into. And he's saying, well, I'm out of here.
That would explain why both sides of the aisle claim Steve Jobs perhaps after he passed away. Dan, Bill, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.